Hello, Internet! Gino, that Pinguino Greco here again with another episode of Deep Listens. It's time for another deep interview. It's time to be talking to a couple more people from the Giantbomb Community Endurance Run to get ready for the endurance run that's going to be happening April 15th to April 17th. I am joined, as always, by Billy Tryhard Rothert.
In most of my games, yeah, that's 100% true, considering I, in fact, 100% most of my games. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me again. My name is Billy Rothard, a.k.a. Rothgar. Just about any gaming community you would know me in. I'm happy to be on today. Happy to talk to some cool people. Happy to talk about Giantbomb Community Endurance Run.
I am also joined by Bollard, our UK correspondent. How's everything in the UK?
Wet and raining. Actually, it's not at the moment. It's just cold. It's still really cold.
Outstanding.
UK okay.
Cheers.
And we are also joined by Nickieroonie, Super Feet Boy himself. Hello.
Hey.
Could you be Super Beat Boy? Like, do you, have big headphones and you could play maybe, Jet Set Radio?
Crypto the
I could-
Necrodancer?
Eat a jar of beets while I play it.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if I like beets.
Have you ever
They're just
actually-
kind of sweet,
No.
like vegetables.
Doug Funny loves them.
Yeah.
That's all I know about beets. I don't think I've ever had a beet on purpose. So today, we're going to be talking about the Giantbomb Community Endurance Run, reminisce about moments past, talk about what people are planning for this year.
Getting hype for the future?
Yes, for the future, for the children. So if you're not familiar with the Giantbomb Community Endurance Run,
What's wrong with you?
that's a great question. Clearly several things. But if you didn't know what it's about, it is a community gaming marathon for 72 hours. People play all manner of video games, largely to raise money for charity. The charities have changed over time, though for the last 3, we have raised money for Pencils of Promise, a charity that builds schools, trains teachers, and sends kids to school in developing nations. And that is who we're going to be raising money for this year. And so I thought that a good way to introduce people to the event, if you're not familiar with it, and also if you are familiar with it, just to help you get to know the types of people who are involved in the event, would be to interview them, say, hey, what's up, how's it going, what got you into this thing, and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself. So with no further ado, Bollard and Nicky, I guess Bollard first, what types of games do you play? What types of, have you streamed before the endurance run? Any background stuff?
Yeah, so I mean, when I've, as I'm sure you're aware, I've been around since the first endurance run, and before that I had come into it because I had a bit of streaming experience. I was quite confident with that. I'd been doing a lot of speed runs in particular was mostly what I did on Twitch. A lot of GTA Vice City was what I started off with my sort of streaming hobby. But in general, the kind of stuff I play and I have also streamed in the past can be quite varied. I like anything from StarCraft to Pokemons to Call of Duty. I don't really have any one category that I really fall into with games.
Nice. And Nicky, you, as the most extreme person, do you only stream things with your feet, or do you play other games?
No, I stream other stuff. I don't stream super regularly, but I've streamed other stuff before.
And do you play exclusively with your feet, or was that just to ratchet up the challenge?
That was just to make it eye-catching.
Okay. That's good. So, how did you guys get to be involved with the Community Endurance Run in the first place? Either one.
Yeah, I'll jump in first. I think I saw. I'm trying to remember because it feels like forever ago, and they've all kind of melded into my head into one, series of really, really cool events. But I think it started with Jeff Rudd posting on the Giantbomb forums and kind of putting his feelers out there to see who might be interested in a kind of community run event. And then there was a long PM thread on the site where we threw back and forth ideas for charities and, donation stuff and how we were going to host this whole thing. And then since then, I've been lucky enough to take part in the last 5 Giantbomb Community Endurance Runs and had fun doing all of them, really, and seeing all the cool stuff that everyone else has streamed and played as well.
Yeah, and Nicky, how many have you been involved in?
I'm similar. I can't remember which one is which, so I want to say 4.
And have you done exclusively platformers, or have you been moving it around?
I've done different stuff. I did Ratchet and Clank 1, 2, 3, and Resident Evil, Alan Wake.
Nice variety.
Finally, someone who would appreciate the Insomniac Museum as much as I do, I hope.
I thought that was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, because
little.
it is the coolest shit ever.
That's
I think
just 'cause
last
you're right.
time I mentioned it, like everyone on the call was like, the Insomniac what? I don't know, I was like, you guys don't know about the Insomniac Museum? What?
It
Shit.
had a little water demo in it. It was like, this water is too good for the PlayStation 2, so we couldn't use it.
Yeah. it had a cube that you could look like through infinite reflections, and you could turn on how many reflections were allowed, and then your PlayStation would just crash.
Really? Someone
I think that was
endurance
one
run
of the
that.
easier ones.
Someone get into that room and then just crash their PlayStation over and over again.
They demoed like the slope of multiple different like inclines, and then it showed you exactly which inclines Ratchet could walk up and could not walk up. It was like a very specific degree. It was like, here you can walk up, here you can't walk up.
So basically, that room was where they tested all of their physics. And
They also let you create your own projectiles. You could like
What?
go in and like edit the color, edit how big they were, if they were like wavy or spinny.
What?
It was pretty sick, man.
Should just put that stuff in the game.
I know.
Well, they
They did later.
Fair enough.
Anyway, I just completely derailed the whole conversation.
That is
Sorry.
perfectly fine. We can always take time out for the Insomniac Museum. So, what of the events that you've been involved in, so both of you have been around for longer than me, so which event from the past did you guys enjoy the most, either participating in or watching?
Oh gosh. As I said, in my head, they've kind of all melded into one. I tried to, before we started, I tried to pick out, trying to remember exactly what I've done in the past. I think one of my highlights was when I played through the whole of COD 4 on Veteran in one sitting.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It was weird because it was something I'd done years ago when the game came out, and I remember getting stuck for years and years and years on, I think it's No Fighting in the War Room, where you got the countdown timer and you're just working your way through the corridors. And I had it in my head, as soon as I get to that mission, I'm like, I'm going to be stuck on this for days. I don't think I'm ever going to beat it. But somehow, I managed to get through the whole game in 10 hours flat, more or less, and even managed to squeeze in Mile High Club, which I nearly beat in like 20 minutes, but then unfortunately lost out and had to try again. That's definitely probably one of the highlights for me.
So you played through the whole thing, having never actually successfully completed it before?
No, I did. It just took me multiple weeks in the past to do it.
Okay.
And then this time I was like, I think I can do it in a day, probably.
That's pretty much how my Final Fantasy IX run went.
Yeah.
I was like, this time I haven't actually successfully finished it at any point, but this time's going to be the time. Live on air. That's the time.
Definitely. Nothing can
Things
go
all
wrong.
worked out this time.
Yeah.
Nikki, what about you? Favorite one to either have participated in or watched?
Probably the last one. It was the most successful. We had a lot of people doing stuff. I got to play Resident Evil 4, which is really fun. And I got to do that Meat Boy run.
Yes, and so that Meat Boy run, now I couldn't watch it because I was playing simultaneously with that run, but that is probably my favorite event of anything we've ever put on. The idea of someone playing Super Meat Boy with their feet. How long did it take you to practice that, to get it down?
It was only really like 7 or 8 hours because it isn't that. It's like the skills that you learn with your hands will easily transfer to your feet. It's just,
Maybe for you.
it's just that like you can't do like minor, like complex movements. So like if you know how to do the levels with a lot of macro strategy, it's really not that much harder with your feet.
I disagree. I think it's very hard, or it looks very hard. The only time I have ever approached anything resembling that was when I played Gears of War with a guitar controller.
Like a Guitar Hero guitar?
Yes.
All right.
You can play it. It's the whammy bar is the X axis, basically, or the Y axis for the joystick. So you kind of have to keep the whammy bar in the middle, or else you look up and down and spin uncontrollably.
Great.
Yeah, and you shoot by using star power.
Okay.
Nice.
I played for like a little bit. I couldn't beat the game, but it was just enough to go like, I killed a locust with a guitar. Fantastic. So, if I remember correctly, we held some very good donation incentives around Super Feet Boy. Would you like to talk about what those were?
I painted my toenails. Each one was sold for what, like $5 or something?
Yeah, I think it was like $5 per toe.
Yeah, so I painted those. And there was just a goal in general to meet to have that run happen.
Yeah, we hit it, thank goodness.
And I don't remember if there was anything else.
I think it was the toes. The toes was the thing that jumped out to me. I
So,
thought,
what did you have on each toe in the end?
There was a penguin.
Okay.
you're welcome.
There was one. Somebody wanted one blank. There was like rainbow, zebra, skull. I don't remember. Clouds.
I think there was a rain cloud. It was. I wish there were more toes.
There was a panda.
Why can't people just have more toes? It would have helped the donation incentive so much.
It would. It would have.
Yeah, what can you do?
Grow more toes. Dip your feet into radioactive solution.
Get more toes.
Get more toes.
Use more skill. Get more toes.
Mm.
So, what are you guys planning for this year's Bollard? Are you planning on playing in this year's community endurance run, or?
Sadly not. I'm going to do a lot of watching and hopefully a little bit of donating here and there, because this year I am super swamped down in my final year of university. But yeah, I hope to at least be able to pop by and watch as much as I can, support you guys, and see some more cool runs.
Yeah, and if you see Bollard in the chat, be sure to shout out.
Yeah,
Put in some work. Nikki, what about you?
Am I supposed to say like the other?
You can
Okay.
talk about what you're practicing. Pretty much everyone so far has at least talked about something they were thinking of doing, though they might not be committing to.
So I'm practicing a Spelunky foot run, and I don't have anything else planned because I'm going to try and man the information stream that we're working on, I guess.
yeah, and that's a big deal. So this year, we're planning on having a stream that just tells you what the heck the schedule is, because up until now we've organized via a shared calendar, but in terms of disseminating that information, it's basically a forum thread with a big ugly. It's not even a calendar; it's just like a list of events. So the Giantbomb forums are good for a lot of things, but disseminating calendar information isn't one of them. So we're hoping to have a stream that has a live update of what our money looks. Well, why don't you explain like what sort of stuff the information stream is capable of handling right now? Or what you're aiming for?
Aiming for like where we're at with donations, what like the next donation goals are, or like what you can donate for. Like in the next 30 minutes, if you donate, you can get such and such, like a name character or something. To have who's streaming what, pictures of the prizes, just stuff like that, so people know what's going on. Because where we have multiple streams, we don't have like a fancy overlay, like something like Games Done Quick, where you can see like, oh, I can donate to get this, and it's just constantly bombarding you with reasons to donate.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we've had a problem with over time is just we mainly use explosive runs, which is an excellent framework that was designed by, I believe, Chaser on the moderator, Chaser, some numbers. I should know this.
I want to say it, but I don't want to be wrong.
Chaser 324.
Yeah.
Who designed explosive runs mostly for Extra Life, because Giantbomb has an Extra Life team. And so we kind of piggyback on that framework for the Giantbomb Community Endurance Run, since everyone is added to that. That page has basically like hundreds of streams available at any given time if you're, stream capable. And once those streams are up, you can kind of group, I think, up to 3 or 4 streams and watch them simultaneously with an IRC chat.
Yeah,
So
you can do 3.
It kind of cobbles together a Giantbomb chat experience around user-based streams, which gives us a lot of versatility in terms of how people can watch our content, but it makes organizing it and telling people, hey, this is what's happening on this stream, it makes it a little decentralized. Like, you have to have one page open to see what the schedule is, and another page open to kind of go, oh, it's live. Here it is.
Yeah.
Here's someone playing something with their feet.
I think the sort of central stream, information stream, is something we've wanted to have for ages, and it'd be really cool if we can see that come to fruition this year.
Yeah, that's a big get. Thanks, Nikki, for that, for putting that time and effort in. So, anything else you guys wanted to mention about, like, for example, when we got to Pencils of Promise, I know that one of the big pushes was trying to work with a charity that does international work, because we have some international constituents. For example,
Hello.
Bollard. Hello. Did you find that was a big change for you? Like, actually seeing that the money you're raising is going to someplace other than the U.S.?
I think that's actually a really big plus, because I think it's also a thing that turns a lot of people off of, for example, Awesome Games Done Quick, because they always focus, is it the Prevent Cancer Foundation that they always raise money for? But that's purely an American charity. And so I think it puts some people off of donating. Obviously, they raise huge buckets of money every year for a fantastic cause, so you can't fault them for that. But I definitely do think it's, especially as Giant Bomb is a really, I think there's a lot of Europeans and also people in Australia, Asia. It's a really international community, so I think that's a great change, for sure.
Yeah, and just occurred to me, are all three of us the speedrunners in this event?
I think so.
I think all three of us are the only ones who do speedruns.
I mean, yeah, I speedran GTA Vice City on the second event, I believe, a long time ago.
I haven't speedrun anything yet, I guess.
I would call what you did with Shadow of the Colossus a speedrun.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, he speedran to the top of the tower in Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, really?
So, like, I had to play the game 4 times. Well, I'll take it back. I had to kill 50 Colossus. And that's how I did it.
Okay.
I think I could have gotten it maybe, like, faster if I had memorized where all the lizards were and just, like, got all the lizards, but that involved more RNG than actually just killing the fucking giant monsters.
Yeah.
I'm
smart.
really glad that you didn't do the faster way.
Well, it was just way more entertaining. Like, I would much rather watch someone slay a giant stone, like, dragon than eat a lizard tail.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, you could have been the Steve Irwin of video games, though. Now this lizard over here, we're sneaking up on him.
I guess, you're all right, mate. You're all right, and then just stab him with an arrow, eat part of him, and then I get stronger.
Exactly.
Not unlike Steve Irwin.
That is very true. And Nikki, would you call your Super Meat Boy run a speed run?
I mean, you gotta be, right?
Kind of, I guess. I did a Dark Souls speedrun too, but the same thing. Like, I didn't really call it a speedrun just because I'm not using like optimized strategies or anything. I just kind of did it the fastest way I know how.
Yeah, I mean, it's faster than most people would do it. I think that qualifies.
It was around 2 hours.
It was pretty fast.
What?
I watched it.
How does one beat Dark Souls in 2 hours?
Gravelord Sword.
What is the Gravelord Sword?
It's just, you can go run at the beginning of the game. You can just go run down to the catacombs and get the Gravelord Sword, and
It's like one of
you
the
can
best...
use it two-handed, and it does a ton of damage.
And you have the strength to use it?
Barely, but you can only use it two-handed. If you use it one-handed, I don't have enough strength. So if I want to do like parries, I have to switch to one hand to parry and then switch back to two hand to actually counterattack.
Sounds easy. Did you fight the Four Kings in that run?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I remember that fight was very quick.
I just cheesed it. Like, I used like really heavy armor and just tanked it with a lot of humanity drinking.
Nice.
Wait, so is that sword even cheesier than the Drake sword?
Yeah, like way cheesier. The Drake sword is not even close to as powerful.
So is the trade-off just that you have to go into a much more dangerous area and know where the heck it is?
Yeah, you need to dodge like 30 skeletons to get it.
Damn. So you got jukes for days is what you're saying?
Sometimes they'll just kill you anyway.
But in Dark Souls, they're going to kill you anyway. So you just got to accept it.
Yep.
So you've done Dark Souls, you've done Super Feet Boy. What other... So I have a feeling that I've been missing out on your runs. What other ridiculous things? So you've got Resident Evil 4. Any other, like, way out there speedruns or way out there events?
Not really. Most of my other stuff have been just like normal playthroughs. Like I did the Ratchet and Clank ones, and it was kind of the same thing where I wasn't doing a speed run because I don't know the speed runs for that game. But I just did them as fast as I know how, and I ended up getting three games done.
Damn.
I was trying to do like as many as I could. I only got to 3.
Only got to 3.
Well, there's like 6 or 7 of them.
How many days did you get through 3? How many days
Just
did it
like
take?
the one weekend.
That's still super fast. Yeah, this year I'm trying to do Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Yeah. I can get 1 done in about 4 hours.
Wow.
2 and 3, I'm going to see. I've practiced 1 a little bit, but 1 is the shortest of the 3. So I don't know. I think it'll be fine, because when compared to the Final Fantasy games, I think 3 Mass Effects are equivalent to 1 Final Fantasy. That's how the math works out.
I think so.
So I think I'll be fine. I'll probably survive. Probably.
We'll see.
So I did not realize that we had multiple speedrunners other than Nikki's Super Feet Boy thing. You've definitely got to have like the record on playing Meat Boy with your feet, though.
I googled it, and I found one person who got to the last level and gave up.
There you go.
You should submit that to Speed Demos Archive.
I should.
Speed demo.
Say, hey guys, I don't know if you have a category for this, but
Make one.
Feet Boy, check.
And here's your any percent run. Here's your 100% run. Here's your
right.
feet run.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a standard category. Everyone knows this.
If we do Crystal Chronicles as a 4-player speedrun, I don't think we're going to break any records because I'm pretty sure people have already done it. But
I found out that people have.
yeah, so
It upsets me.
I mean, it's fine. We're still going to be playing a cool game. It's not a very high, like, it's not a very, what would you call it, like, high publicity game to play. It's not like Super Metroid or something. Like, everyone speedruns that game, or like a Castlevania game. Like, everyone speedruns those games, but Crystal Chronicles is kind of weird, so people probably don't see a lot of speedruns of it.
I know. It's just, I wanted to get that record on a technicality. That's all I wanted. I just wanted a technicality. I mean, how many people in the world have 4 Game Boy Advances and 4 link cables for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles? In the world.
How many do you have, by the way, Gino?
I have 2 link cables and 1 GBA. I can't find my other 2 GBAs.
That's fine. We can just make it work. I mean, they cost like $20 at, your local janked up game store.
That's what my local game store is named. Janked Up Game Store. All right, so is there anything you guys want to mention about the Community Endurance Run, or anything to shout out?
I'd like to shout out Jeff Rudd for kicking the ball rolling, and also everyone else who's taken part in all the years for being awesome and doing really cool runs.
Very cool. Nikki?
I just want to say, if you're interested at all in joining, do it. It's not hard to get set up, and it's just good to have as many streams as we can have, because the whole goal of the format of this event is that, something should be of interest to you. Like, if there's 10 things going on, hopefully one of them will be interesting to you.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. Even if, one, we're all super available. If you just, tweet at GBCER or at hashtag GBCER6, you'll usually be able to find some of our tweets. We would be happy to have you. Setting up is pretty much just OBS, and then just say you would like to be involved. We had probably 20 people or 15 people join last year for the first time. I'm pretty sure. It was close. It was a lot of people.
That was a lot.
And so it's not like this is an exclusive thing where it's just the people who have been doing it. We would like as many people as possible. And some of the newer people have just been great. They're probably going to be around for a while. So don't be intimidated. OBS is very simple as a program. You don't even have to stream, commit to streaming for the whole weekend. The beauty of the event is that it runs for 3 days, but we don't expect anyone to be streaming, the entire 3 days. because we've distributed it across multiple people, we just have it so that someone is streaming at all times, but not everyone is streaming all the time. So if you just want to play for like 2-3 hours, that is totally cool, and it would be much needed help. But be sure to yell at people to donate. Tell them, hey, this guy's painting his feet. Donate money. Hey, this guy's speaking in Bastion announcer voice, and he'll do it if you pay him money.
Proper story's got to start at the beginning.
Pay him money.
Ain't so simple with this one.
Hey, someone's naming all of the Final Fantasy characters after rappers. Someone please outbid him. Please.
It was so easy. I
Please.
actually started a bid war on one of them. That
Didn't
got
you
us
lose
like...
one?
Yeah. I lost one of them. No. What I mean to say is I started a bid where I bid like once or twice, and then 2 other people got involved and they started bid warring. So that ended up getting us like $200 for that one character.
Yeah, and I
I
think
think the winner was like a $50 donation for some of, like for one of those names.
it was Quina, but I forget. Every single one of these podcasts, I'm just going to be upset that Final Fantasy IX, that speed run, all the footage is lost. I'm going to always be upset.
I mean, look, this just incentivizes the viewers that, look, you're going to see some good shit on Giantbomb Community Endurance Run. And you know what? We try to be professionals, but some of this quality content might just get lost to the ages. So get it while it's hot, people.
Exactly. Speaking of getting it while it's hot, I'm looking at getting lapel mics.
Ooh.
You know, I feel like that's just not... I mean, okay, that would be really cool. I might be able to hit up one of my friends who's involved with production, see if we could borrow some stuff for the weekend, but,
Ooh.
you know, like, using, like, a simple headset is just as good. As long as we get, like, a simple mixing program where we can have a couple of audio jacks plugged in at the same time, we'd be fine.
I'm looking at having two setups at my place this year.
Okay.
And so one group where it's a bunch of people on a couch where we can play multiplayer games, like for Crystal Chronicles or
yeah.
anything. And then another set where you can go to do your dark business.
Like if I do a Volda story speedrun?
Yes. Because you have to have a place to do your run, and I need a place to do mine.
Yeah.
And then that way the second studio can be for when people are streaming solo.
Air quotes, studio. Creepy
Yes.
bedroom.
We'll see. We'll see where it's set up. Maybe it'll look more professional than last time.
Maybe. Maybe you'll clean that room.
Maybe.
Maybe it won't just be like storage for 10 months out of the year and then like sometimes a guest bedroom whenever someone needs to sleep there.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We call it charm.
Uh-huh. It's cozy.
Yeah, so I'm looking at lapel mics. I'm looking at mixers. I'm trying to see if I can try and professional this up a little bit.
Then again,
more.
like, how would we need mixers? Because you have like a snowball mic, so we can just use that like on the table among all of us.
That
Is it really
sound-
going to sound that bad?
It would sound terrible.
We-
Bollard.
I can confirm.
All right. All right,
It will
fine.
sound bad.
We did a podcast in your room like that. I think it was the Halo podcast.
And there was no video game sound.
True.
And it sounded bad.
True. Video game sound is what we would be competing with there.
The crosstalk, it would sound bad.
Okay. Yeah.
Bollard, you have a Yeti, correct?
I have a Yeti as well, yeah.
How does that sound when you turn that to room mic mode?
I mean, I'm all up on this mic right now. Like, if I was to crank up the gain, put it on one of the other settings, and then sit on the other side of the room, you would hear every single slight breeze that came through my window, and it would sound horrible.
Exactly. That's the problem. Like, all of a sudden, it's like, well, it turns out my GameCube is really loud.
Yeah.
Who knew? It's
Weird.
windy.
It turns up the heat, all right?
Yeah, so...
Actually warms the room a little bit, too. Like, if you play in a tiny room with, like, just a Nintendo GameCube churning, like, who needs a radiator, right?
That is true. Yeah, so I'm trying to... I also have a suit. I got a suit that looks kind of like a 80s, 90s TV game show announcer suit.
What are you doing?
What?
What, Gino? What are you doing?
I have a thing planned.
Is it? You said that you had some kind of surprise thing for me, and
I do.
I'm getting more worried as the date approaches.
I do. Billy, take your headphones off for a sec.
I just...
Take your headphones off for a sec. Go
All
for a walk.
right. Well, I'm editing this podcast, so like
Go
I
take
can
a
hear
walk.
anything you say.
Damn it.
Like I would just listen to the footage.
You should listen to the footage.
All right. Cross my heart. I'll take my headphones off.
Don't listen to the footage.
Everyone else can know, and then I'll just know not to listen to this part when I'm editing.
Okay, don't listen to this. Ah!
No.
That's Spike. That's Spike.
That
Don't
trick
listen.
never works. That
Don't
trick
listen.
never.
Ah!
Your voice doesn't do that.
Ah!
No.
Okay,
All right.
Take your headphones off.
I just know what time it is, so just do your business.
Okay. Take your headphones off. Go for it. Okay, guys. Hey. He's gone now.
He's gone forever.
He's gone. I can see him, but he can't hear us. Man, he's a loser, isn't he?
Oh my god.
What a loser. Okay.
I think he's pretty all right.
Yeah, you don't know him like I know him. Okay, so I've got a few plans. First plan, I've got a fighting game event I would like to do. I have a couple of very competitive friends who really think that they're the shit at fighting games. They think they're really good at them. I want to put blindfolds on them. And I want to set up a few different consoles. I want to put in random games. They won't know what they are because they're blindfolded.
Okay.
And then when we take the blindfolds off, there's just a controller in their hand. They don't know what the game is. They just have to go.
Okay.
So maybe the first game, maybe it's Godzilla's Destroy All Monsters Melee.
Okay.
Maybe then it's Super Smash Brothers.
Or maybe it's Tetris Battle Gaiden.
Maybe it's Tetris Battle Gaiden.
That would really throw him off.
That would. Maybe it's Street Fighter. Maybe it's Marvel. Maybe it's Custom Robo for the GameCube.
Do they get to choose characters, or do you choose
They get
for
to
them?
choose characters, and it's best of 3. Every fight is best of 3.
Okay.
But they don't get to know what the game is and what the hell the mechanics are. They just have to figure it out.
That sounds pretty awesome.
And I was thinking that the last round should just be, it's Street Fighter, but the blindfolds stay on.
Yep, definitely.
How does that sound? Does that sound like... Okay.
I mean,
that sounds
Billy's nodding. Billy's nodding, so I think he's in.
He shouldn't... He'd better not know what I'm saying. Second thing is I want to just... Billy's a completionist. He talks about it as though it's religious. And so I want to test that by just, like, say, for example, putting him in a room with like, Cookie Clicker.
Okay.
Or Adventure Capitalist.
Yeah.
Or some game like that. And just check in with him on set intervals to see how much progress he's made.
What about time clickers?
That would work. I was thinking, like, after certain amounts of time, I would come in and just say, like, hey, you could have watched all of Titanic in the amount of time you've been playing this.
Just drop bombshells on him every so often.
Exactly. You could be in LA right now if you caught a plane when you started doing this.
Yeah.
You could have some torture incentives.
Exactly.
Like deleting his save halfway through.
Oh, that would be so good. Oh, I bought you a burrito. Oops, it's all gone. Okay.
$5, crack an egg on his head.
Oh my god. See, these are great ideas.
You might have to ask his permission first before you start doing stuff like that.
It's good for your hair.
Okay, so I'm gonna wave him back into the podcast. He doesn't need to know about any of this.
Cool.
Okay. That Billy guy, he's sure... Wait. Is he...
Oh,
wait.
yeah.
There we go.
Ah.
Oh, that Billy guy
Am
sure
I-
is great.
Am I allowed to be back now?
Yes, you're allowed to be back now.
That was like 4 minutes of just a discussion. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be happy with whatever was going on back there.
Oh, you
It's
will.
fine.
You
I've
definitely
got a suit, and clearly both of you can see why it's pertinent that I have a suit.
I just got this weird feeling that something's gonna happen.
They gave me ideas, Billy.
You made it better.
We were workshopping.
Better for who?
The viewer.
Everyone.
That's all we care about, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna imagine it's probably just some horseshit like exploiting all of my aspects of being a gamer.
No. What?
It's probably just
Who
gonna
would-
be an exploitation like, hey, Billy, guess what? You get to do this on stream now. Okay.
Who would
Well,
want to
am I
exploit someone's
gonna wear a
addictive
costume?
tendencies? Who would want to exploit someone's addictive tendencies? Not me. I should just introduce you to Dark Souls. And
Is
then just
that
have
like the trick?
No, that would be
Billy plays his first Dark Souls game.
And then we go back like
Just
3
watch
days later.
addiction consume someone.
Oh no, he's a shell of a man now.
Donation incentive, like, has to play one more hour just to make sure, like.
Oh, that would be so good. Here's your second hit of heroin.
Yeah.
So every $100 you give him, he takes another bump. Oh.
Feeling good about this event, guys. Feeling real good. You know, it's for charity. It's for the kids. I'll
Bollard,
take one for the team.
You can appreciate this because you are my Magic the Gathering compatriot.
Uh-huh.
I introduced Billy to Magic.
How long ago did you inflict this on him?
It was 2013. No, maybe a little earlier.
12.
It was probably, I think it was 2012. And you know what? You know what else he introduced me to?
What's that?
Dota.
Oh, wow.
Bad
He's a real asshole.
Bad friend. You know?
I didn't realize how addictive his tendencies were. I didn't realize.
It was a learning experience for everyone.
I mean, you know, I can say that, like, I'm on the other side of it. You know, we're in recovery.
Uh-huh.
You know, all I play Magic now is this, like, shitty Steam Magic Duels, which is free to play.
Yep.
You know, I actually have, 100% completion in it. I've grinded to get every single booster pack, but you know how much it cost me?
How much?
$0. Just time. Just
thousands of hours.
Yeah, just, a couple 100 hours. No problem.
And since we've established your time is of no value, it's basically nothing. It costs
This
nothing.
just means that, guess what, Billy? You get to play some fucking bullshit game like Phantasy Star Online, which I also put hundreds of hours into. I just know, like, whatever you guys concocted, it's going to be like, guess what, Billy? Here's a game from your past.
Quick
We
question.
actually got someone to mail you your old save file. Just continue it.
So, how are you on Monster Hunter?
Oh, I did play Monster Hunter, but you know what? I never got like hooked in Monster Hunter.
That's the game that gets me.
Like I guess when I first played it was Monster Hunter Tri for the Wii. And I liked it a lot, and the online was actually pretty good. And I never got to like high rank, G rank, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I played it on the 3DS and stuff. I played it some other times, and I never found the incentive to get to like super high rank Monster Hunter.
Have you ever played Monster Rancher?
No.
I don't know.
Oh my god. Do you like Pokemon, Billy?
Yeah, I mean we all did as a kid, but like I'm kind of over it.
Do you like CDs?
No, not really. I mean,
what if your CDs were monsters?
That's not what I'm into, man.
What if you had to put in all of your CDs to find out which one was the best monster?
I feel like
we
we're just
scan
off the marquee.
barcodes.
It's kind of like that. What if Elton John's Winter Christmas Classic was actually an ice dragon? What then?
I'm kind of on board now.
What if Bob Marley's greatest hits was like a stag beetle?
Bit disappointing, really.
So, Billy, do you have a PS3 that can play PS2 games?
I have a PS2.
Oh, that's also good. Because, yes, you should bring that. Maybe we'll play some Monster Rancher.
No. I feel like that's just an incentive for me to not bring my PS2 setup.
You should bring your PS2.
I think I'm good.
We should find out what CDs turn into what.
I think I'm good.
You sure? I've got a Monster Rancher card battle game.
I feel like card battle game is the last thing that series needed.
What if Elton John's Winter Classics was
Does he
actually
sound like a robot
card?
to you guys too?
Do I sound like a robot? Is my audio
He does
weird?
sound a bit like a robot.
No!
Man, Domo arigato, Mr. Gino.
Oh, no.
Everyone went full robot for a second.
Wow.
Okay. Well,
That was just a sign that we need to stop talking about this shit and start talking about something else cool.
yeah. So why don't we wrap this up? Community Endurance Run, again, running from April 15th to April 17th, raising money for Pencils of Promise, a charity that builds schools, trains teachers, and sends kids to school in developing nations. It's a very cool charity. Glad to be working with them again. Anyone last final thoughts leading into the event?
Everyone should, at the very least, watch because you might get really sucked into it and you might really enjoy it, like I have these past few years, and you'll be missing out if you don't.
Nikki?
Yeah, like even if you can't donate, like tell your friends or put it on your Twitter or whatever, because if you share it, maybe somebody else will donate.
And Billy?
Awareness is key, so do tell all your friends, share it on all your social media. This, like my first Giantbomb Community Endurance Run, even though I wasn't on stream, was actually my first time ever participating in, I guess, like a community gaming event. And the next year when I actually did it on stream, it was probably the single highlight of my like video game life. I mean, that seems kind of profound, but like when I just had people watching me play Shadow of the Colossus, there was like 50 or 100 viewers, and they're like, "This is really good shit. You should do more of this." It's just really validating, and it's not like in an arrogant sort of way, but just it makes you feel really good to be a gamer when you're a part of something like this. So I highly recommend everyone and anyone trying it out.
Sure. And speaking of social media, you can reach the show, any comments or feedback, at Deep Listens Pod on Twitter, deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com, or deeplistens.libsyn.com. And the Giantbomb Community Endurance Run, you can watch it on explosiveruns.com. There'll almost certainly be a thread updating you on all of the events that are coming out. That thread will likely go up in a couple days, or it might already be up by the time you're listening to this. So you can check that out and see what sort of events we're going to be running.
When do we put all the donation incentive stuff up?
We are probably going to start rolling that out any day now, in real time. So by the time people hear this, it probably will have already happened.
Nice.
Yeah. So last year we did it about a month in advance, and so we're rapidly approaching that date. So the earlier people know, the more people can plan around the event, and the more people actually get involved. So be sure to tell people, even if you can't donate, maybe someone you know can. And that's definitely how a lot of our donations come through. It's by people telling others, hey, there's this cool event. You can deduct it from your taxes. It's a real charity, for reals. Come on. Donate. So, does anyone else have a plug on Twitter plug? My guests.
Or Twitch or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I could, but it feels self-serving.
No,
fine.
go for it. That's the whole point.
It's fine.
I think I'm just at Bradley_Pollard on Twitter, and on Twitch, just Bollard, same as I was on here and on the site.
Nikki?
I'm Nickieroonie on everything.
Outstanding. So, thank you again for listening. Please check out the Community Endurance Run when it happens. Thank you, Bollard.
Thank you for having me, Gina.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
And thank you, Billy.
Thanks, everyone. Had a good time talking about it.
I'm so glad you didn't hear any of the stuff when you took your headphones off. Thank goodness. Thanks, listeners. Bye-bye. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.